real term. So what is the difference between Angular JS and React JS, right? So today we can move on to some other topics. So last class we have did some example, right, and React, like how it will be. So can you see the screen? So what is JSX?
It is a JavaScript code, right?
What is
To write HTML code into JavaScript.
inside the JavaScript?
Yeah, inside the JavaScript.
Okay, so so we have like some restrictions in the JSX, for example, JavaScript XML, right? So what we are writing is we are writing HTML code inside the JavaScript, right? So while we are writing that HTML code inside the JavaScript, we have some restrictions to write this code. The first one is, so as we have seen yesterday, so we should return single JSX element from the component. Like for example, if you are returning single element, right? So like some, and this is a single element, right? This is single statement. Okay, so we should return only, we are returning only the single statement. Okay, if you want to show more elements, like two or more elements, then you should do like inside that div, then it will work. So you should be write the enclosing tag. Okay, and then you can write how many um how many elements you can write. So then it will consider this is an element. So div is an element, it will be like. So we should return only the single JSX element from any component. Okay, this is a restriction, we should follow this. Okay, and so how do we access the CSS classes? For example, I created one class for the styles like background color for the particular class. So how can I access that class? How can I use those styles using the class? Do you understand?
Can you come again? Can you come again?
See, like in CSS file, I created one class. Okay, inside that I will mention some styles, whatever this, some styles I'm mentioning. Okay, so how can I access this class in CSS? I want to use this class, particular class
Oh no.
in HTML. I want to use this class into the HTML page. How can I do? Like this,
Head, right? Head.
do you
To write that
say
keyword head.
class name, right?
Mm-mm. Yes, yes.
Oh, here div class equal to class name. But in
Yes.
React, in JSX you should write, instead of class you should write class name, capital N.
Mm.
Okay, capital N,
Cam
class name. You should write like this. So it,
camel case.
yes, it won't work if you write the class. You have to write the class name and is the capital.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so whenever we are working on a React, so we need to do some local setup. So what is a local setup? We can see, for example, so if I open, for example, if I open the Gmail, okay, how much time it will take to load this page? How much time?
Mm,
If I open any domain or something,
20 to 50 seconds.
it will take 2 to 3 seconds, right, to load this application first time, right? So
Yes.
what we need to do, for example, the web page should make when we are entering any website or something like that. So application, it should be a faster. So what we need to do for the fast for that application has to be faster. See, so minification, you know, right? Minification in the webpack class, minification, concatenation. convert SAS to CSS. So linting, Babel. Okay, so those we can call this is optimization. So whatever we are developing an application, that should be it should be take the faster. So for that we need to do something called optimization. So optimization we need to do all the things. So what is the modification? For example, you are writing the code. Okay, I sing some song. Okay. Application. For example, you have while you write, you have a JS file, 100 JS file. Okay, so minification will do. We are combining all the JS file into thing, we will use something called modular system in the webpack. Okay, minification will do like it will minify our code. Okay, you are writing a thousand of line, then we have to minify the code, like you can say. So we'll remove all the white spaces. Okay, so always try to reduce the code. So minifications for the minification so so for that we can use the webpack for the optimization. So webpack last class. So webpack, so minification, there is a something called ugly.js. So plugin is there for minification. Okay, whatever you are writing the code, that the code will be going to minify. Okay, that means that code will be sent to the browser. Then browser can understand that, but user cannot understand after minified code. Okay, and concatenation. So what is the concatenation? So concatenation nothing but like, so you write in the hundred of JS files, right? So combining all the several JS file into one JS file. Okay, that one JS file we are doing the minification. Then we are sending to the browser. Okay, converting SAS to CSS. You write in the SAS, then we are converting to CSS. And linting is nothing but like, we, for example, in your code, if you forget any semicolon or colon or braces or something, any or spelling mistake, then linting will let us know that you have an error in particular line in this folder, in this file. Go and correct it and again test. So linting, we will test our entire application. Okay, so linting will we will help will do that entire application for the testing. Like if you any errors will be there, or it will give us the warnings. Okay, so while we are sending to the production, then application doesn't have any errors. Okay. Okay, so Babel. So what is the Babel transpeller? Transpeller will be JS is into JS. Okay, so concatenation, converting, linting, we will use something called JS hint, ESLint, loaders. These are the loaders. I hope you learn this in the webpack class. So Babel linting and so Babel linting, SAS to CSS, concatenation and minification. I hope you learned in the webpack class, right? Then we can do these loaders, then you can understand. Okay, so what is the webpack then? So webpack, once you are, if you want to in optimization of the application, you need something built tool. Okay, then we will go with the webpack in React. Okay, so we have other built to also Grunt and Gulp, but Webpack will do more. Like it has a something called bundle.js file, and we can also use all the loaders what what we are talking about, linting and Babel. So each and every, for example, SAS to CSS, we need to use this CSS loader and style loader. Everything will be a loader actually. So we need to use that. Okay. So minification, we have uglify loader. Okay, so SAS to CSS and so concatenation, we will use modular system. Okay, that means a common JS. And so how we are going to manage these dependencies? So what is that? Yeah, for example, so I want to install any loaders, like I want to install Babel. Then so how we are going to manage these dependencies? Do you understand my question?
No.
Like, so we need dependency management. So what are the dependency management tools? NPM or yeah. So these are all dependency management tool. Okay. So we'll go
Hmm.
with NPM, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And next, see, so we'll go start with the React, like how we can start the React application from the scratch. Okay, we'll expand, we'll do that. So you need to follow the some structure. So always, so once you are starting an application from the scratch, okay, so we have something called npm install create react app. Okay, so you need to install in your system first globally. Okay, so I'm taking the command prompt. Okay, I'm going to install as an globally first. Okay, so it is going to install. So before that, you need to check, you do you have the node or npm. Okay, so you need both node version and npm version. How can you check if you node hyphen b? Okay,
Yeah.
so I have a 10.5. So react will be like that, create react app will be above 8 version. Okay, that it will support above node 8 version. Okay, node and check also npm version. Okay, I have 6.9. So I'm going to desktop first. Okay, so now, so we already installed the globally, right? So now taking, okay, react app and project name February batch something. Okay, so create react app and fifth class is the project name, that means the folder name. Okay, so when we are installing something, so we have talked about like react, we need cdns, right? Like react and react dom, we need to mention the cdns, right? So now it will be direct, internally it will be downloading these libraries react and react dom. So we don't need to mention that libraries in html file. Okay, so just we can go through, we can go through the structure. Okay, and then we can do. So I'm opening some IDE. So using some Visual Studio Code. Okay, Visual Studio Code, and okay, I hit the installing. So it will take some time to install these all the packages, React, React DOM, and React scripts. We'll see like how it will be. npm init, then it will be generate the package.json file. Then we can install the packages, right? We can install the dependencies using npm or what. Okay, so now it will be done. So go to that. Okay, we'll open this the structure here. Okay, so we mention in the desktop cpip class, this is the project. I'm opening this one into Visual Studio Code. Okay, now you got a structure here. See, we have node modules and there is a public folder and source folder, okay, and package.json, right? So see here, so package.json, you have a here something called so dependencies. So we have talked about react and react dom, right? So here we have, so version is 16.8 right now. Okay, see, react, so how this application is going to start? Okay, so npm start, that means see, react, and so it will the react script, it will be start, so build test, for example test is nothing but like for the testing, and eject, so webpack, we now need to write again in this structure webpack, because of webpack file is already will be there internally, it is having this in the create react tab, it will have internally webpack. Okay, if you want to modify, if you want to add webpack file, then you need to remove this eject. Okay, okay, ESLint it has. Okay, so now you can see the source folder. Okay, you have a CSS file. Okay, and you have a JS file, this is the component. Okay, we have talked about some component, right? So we'll see, so how, first of all, so how many ways we can write the component first. Okay, then we'll go. Mm. So in React, we will write components in four ways. Okay, one is ES5 class method. Okay, in JavaScript class method. Okay, in the sorry, in ES5. So we'll use the React class create class method. Okay, and then we are writing the component. Okay, see, this is a my component is a component name. Okay, using the class method. So this is a structure we can call ES5, right? Okay, and we are returning some HTML element. So this is the one way of component writing the component in ES5. And another thing is ES5 functional component. So what is the functional component? Writing the just you are writing the function. Okay, inside the function you are returning, right? So this is the JSX. Okay, right, this is the JSX and this is the syntax. Okay, we are writing that. Okay, and okay, and these are the two methods, two ways, and you are writing another thing is ES6 class component. Okay, ES6 class component. So how to write the ES6 class component? See, so each and every, like so class component, functional component, there is a difference between class and functional component also. See, we will discuss what is the difference between class and functions. See, this is the class, ES is class component. See how it will be looking. So class, using the class, and the app is the component name using the extends keyword. Okay, for the component. Okay, while you writing the components, so you need to write like this ES6. Okay, and then returning. So after you write the component, and you should export that component name. Okay, so this is the one way ES6, and one more thing is ES6 functional component. So what is the functional component? We will write the in ES6. How can you write the functions? Using the arrow functions. Okay, just using this arrow function. Okay, now in this example, so what is this component?
Class component.
So class component ES6. Okay, see, so we should, okay, so we should import the React. So we need to write this. You already included that React minifier, right? You install the React package. Okay, now, so you should import this component from the React. Okay, then we are using the class component and with the component. Okay, this is the component name. App is the component. The extends keyword. Okay, and component. So inside that, here you are writing this code. Okay, returning, this is the JSX. Okay, see, so returning
App is a class name.
component name.
Component name. Okay.
Yes.
So extends component means it is using app is using component properties.
Yes.
Methods.
So you need to include the CD and React and React DOM. Okay, we are importing this concept from the React, then we are using this component. Okay, then see, this is the syntax for writing a CSS. For example, this is a CSS file, right? You have, so if you want to use this all the styles, you have to import this file into where you want to use. So in the app.js, see, import app.js. Okay, import app.css. That means you can access all the CSS classes. Okay, see, div class name equal to app and the header class name equal to app header. These are the class name. Okay, and edit. Okay, so this is just a component. Okay, now this is the one. This is the one component, right? Okay, this is the main component. That means where we are rendering this one. Okay, yesterday we write something a React DOM and we are importing this, right? So here this is the file we are exporting, like we are sending to the browser server. Okay, so import react dom. Okay, and using, so so here we have a app.js component, right? And this is the component where we write some code and we are updating, we are using the component into index.js. So this is the main component, we can say container component. Okay, this is a container component. Okay, so now import app.app and we are rendering that app component. Okay, so go to terminal. Okay, and go to terminal, just npm start. So it will take as a local port internally, then it will run this application on local server. Okay, starting the development server. Okay, so 3001 in the local. So 3001.6, this is the application. So this is the application, see. So this is application. For example, I want to add some content here, then go to this example. Okay, so app component, for example, in the app.js component, so I want to delete all these things, header, nothing. So I just want to display h1. This is simple like that. Okay, so no need to refresh, go to the browser. Okay, see, this is a simple example. Okay, this is a one component. Okay, now I'm going to write another component in the source folder. Okay, right click and a new file. Okay, hello.js. Okay, that is a component name, right? I'm writing the component. So import, so import what? React.
React component.
Component from where? React. Okay, so now I will write so class, this is hello component, um, extends component.
Component.
Okay, inside that what?
Render.
Then
Render.
inside that
Return.
return. Okay, return, then div. hello component. Okay, so after this we need to export, right? Export default hello component.
Hello.
Okay, so this is a one component. So I want to use this component into in the index.js file. So now what I do, so import hello from hello. Okay, now I will use that component here. I'm rendering those component div, and after that hello. Let's go browser. See, this is hello component and this is simple example. This is a app component and this is the hello component. Okay, now I will create one more component in source folder only. uh, Hello world component. Okay, now I just use that same content. All right. Okay, just will change the component name here. All. Mm, okay. So this is a wall component. Okay, so I want to use this component inside the app.js component. Then how can I do? You agree? You understand what I'm asking? I want to use the whole JS component inside the app.js component. How can I do? So import all.
Uh,
Sorry. So how can I do that? Import whole component name from
uh,
whole. Okay, so now I will use from here only.
You did by default hello.
Okay, so what is the component? Whole. I will use the component inside this app component. Okay, so now see it will render or not. See, this is hello component. That means the nested component we can say. This we can call the nested component. Inside the component we can access from another component. Right? Like you can create a number of components and you can use the components into here.
You wrote import world from hello. Is it
Sorry,
is it right?
sorry. I think wall, right?
Yeah.
Uh, See, this is the whole component.
Hmm.
Okay, so this is a like nested component. Like I can say inside the component we can write more than one component using nested components. Okay. And so like you can write any other components. See, I will write the functional component here. So how can I do that? So functional component, so constant hello world. Mm-hmm. Next, return.
Return.
Which one? Okay, respect to where? This is the parent component, okay, and this is a child component. The parent component can access the child component, but the child component cannot access the parent component. Okay, if you want to use we have to use something called props. So we learn. Okay, so this is a one more, this is a one component, and this is a another component. Okay, I can say this is a child component. Okay, this is a parent component. That means the communication between the parent and child. Okay, uh, so this is hello world I just mentioned. You can see this is hello world. So you should enter on the browser. So this is a hello world. Okay, so like that you can create more and more components. So it doesn't matter that how many components you are creating. Okay, so this is a nectar component and a relation between the child and parent. So you can import the components here, main the container, you can render it on, you can render it. Okay, so this is a way how many ways we can create the components. ES5 and functional class, and ES6 functional class. Function always written with the and so any other we'll go to that some other topics. So let's we'll go into more deeply in props and states. Okay, so there is a concept called state, states and props. So what is the state and what is the props? We can see. So for example, so I want to communicate data. Okay, for example I have the something data in here. Okay, so for example you can say hello, this is the one data, right? This dot hello something in data. Okay, I want to communicate that data in this component and in different components. So for that, so we will use the states and props. So state will use the communication the data within a component. So within a component we can use the state as a within a component. Okay, so we'll see. Okay, so it is a mutable, that means we can change the data, and we can also work with the dynamic operations. So how to initialize the state? Okay, how to initialize the state we can see. Okay, in here um, so so in constructor, what is the constructor?
Function, right?
Function. And so how can I access, like how can I do this constructor? How can we write constructor methods? How can we write the constructor methods like in uh, so
With uppercase letter,
uh-huh.
clear. Function name, my constructor name.
Okay, so how to initialize the state? So this dot state equal to, okay, so it is a like it is an object. Okay, and we can use the like property. So title and the name, content you can give. Okay, so if you want to access this state data within a component, so how can you do? So state is nothing but like it is a mutable, the data we can change and we will use for the dynamic operation. So this dot state for we can initialize the state. So using, okay, so after initialize the state, so how can you access this particular state? That means this dot state name. So this is the state name, title is the state name. Okay, this dot state name, that is the title. Okay, like that. So accessing using this dot state name. So states are always declared in the constructor method. Okay. Okay, so when we write the constructor, so you need the super keyword also. Okay, in JavaScript, like, okay, and okay, so now I want to access this state. So how can I access? Here only. For example, I want to access from here. Okay, see. So how can you access? Within a expression. Okay, so this dot state dot state name title. Stay within a expression. So this dot state dot title. So what's the suppose you get the output?
This is state data.
This is state data. Okay, so I want to use this. I want to use this data like in this data and in another component. So how can I do? If I write the constant function like I will write the arrow function. Okay, inside that I will return just p tag I'm using same like, so this dot state dot I think what title. Okay, sorry, this is not correct actually. This is correct because of C. So we can declare, you can declare here not this content. You can once you are making any API call, you can, for example, uh, you can do something called like you can declare here and you can update the state. Okay, so how we can update the state means we use something called this dot set state. Okay, so we learn this actually this dot set, and this will be done using something called events. Like if I add one button here, okay, if I add the one button, what is the error? Comp is not defined. Okay, so if, for example, if I take one button here, this is a state, you can think this is the button. When I click the button, the data will be going to change. So how we can do that? That means we need to update this data. Okay, we need to update this data. So we have states and props and events. So these are all three things very important in React. Okay, so practice login, right? Login pages. So take as a component, and you can integrated all the components into only one component. Then you can render that. Like for example, you can take login component, you can take logout component, and you can main component and page design component. So inside that you can write a sign up page, right? You can write this using CSS. Okay, you know CSS, you know how to write. Okay, um, uh, and integrated all the components into main one component. Okay, you can render. Okay, you can, if you have any question, then you can ask me. So I'm in. So state is nothing but like see. So the data, passing the data within a component. Okay, I can say this is the component. So I am going to declare the state using this dot state. Okay, and it is a object, and we are writing the property and value. Okay, so always we are going to initialize the state inside the constructor method only. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
main thing, state is a mutable. What is the mutable? We can change. you can change the data once you declare using something. Okay, so this is the always you have to declare the state inside the constructor method. Okay, we will use the state for the dynamic operations. Okay, and so if you want to update the state using something called this dot set state method will be there. Okay, that is a simple example. So here I declare the state inside the constructor. I'm going to use this if you want to access what you initialize the state using this dot state name. Okay, this dot state name is the title. Okay, always you can access this state inside the expressions. This is the expressions. Okay, then it will be rendering. Okay,
And you said if you want to access the state value outside a component, we need to use props, right?
yes, exactly.
Okay. Okay, thank you,
You
Vikas.
declare the prop, then you can access it. You cannot use this state in another component. Okay,
Yeah.
only within a component.